And welcome back. Today we got the BuzzTV B5. We're gonna do the full review, look at the specs, what do you get. There's a lot of stuff within this box and it actually looks pretty neat. If you guys are brand new to the channel, please consider subscribing, and leave me a comment below. Let me know if you guys have ever tested any of this stuff. I always leave links in the description for this, and if you want the one that I got, shoot me an email, rohasentertainment@gmail.com. My email is always in the description below. And yeah, check the links out because I got some discounts on this stuff. So here it is. This is the B5. You get a TF card slot right there. It looks like it's going to be a micro maybe. 2 USB ports. You got your AV, your Ethernet, HDMI, optical, and power. Pretty good. Nothing on this side, nothing on this side. The device feels actually, I know some of these like essential devices and some of these like budgeted devices, they always seem a little bit like on the lower end. This one feels actually pretty nice. It's different. But it feels pretty nice. You do get a power cable. You do get a good HDMI cable. You do get some batteries, and you get their I think this is the BT100 remote. Now with this one, you can set this remote to your regular TV, so you could turn your TV on from here and also hit all the different sources from here. In the back, it will give you instructions on how to do it. Now, if for whatever reason you're following these instructions and it does not work, email BuzzTV and ask them. They might want to know what your make and model is for your TV, and then they'll give you some instructions on how to set this up as long as your TV is not super old. And with that being said, you got some basic options here, favorites, categories. I like that they do have a mouse button here that you can use. The only thing is this mouse is extremely slow, and I'll show you guys that in a second. Up, down, left, right, okay, menu. You get your last info, home, live TV, guide, VOD, TV series, PVR. You got lots of stuff here. 1 through 9, or 1 through 9, 0 page up, down, volume up, down, channel up, down, and then these buttons are going to be for the TV guide. Okay, so when you first launch, it's going to say what language do you speak, might ask you to sync the remote. Follow all the on-screen instructions when you first are playing with this thing. It's even going to ask you to check for an update. Now, real quick, I just plugged it in and there is the light right there. So no clock, nothing like that. That's all it's going to do. Once it does turn on, give it a few seconds. You're going to get the BuzzTV logo and then their launch screen. And there it is. Pretty quick, pretty simple. So first thing is the very top row. You got live TV, VOD, PVR, EPG. They all do the exact same thing. When you first click on it, it's going to say, what do you want? Mac server, Extreme Codes login, or M3U. Now, whatever it is that you have, BuzzTV does not give you live TV stuff. This is just a guide, and you just put in your username and password. You can go to Add Extreme Codes API login. You click on this portal name, call it whatever you want. Peanut butter and jelly, doesn't matter. Call it whatever you want. The second one, it says portal URL. This is the URL given to you, the username and password that's given to you. Click save, it'll launch, boom. Obviously, for reasons, we cannot do that here on YouTube. So just go through the steps and you should be good. What's included on this thing? Now, when you click all apps, I did add IDA64, but you do get app installer. So if you do go to like APK Pure or something like that and you download something, go here, click on local. There it is right there. You could download whatever app it is that you have. Now, this does store little bits of pieces of information, so you could always delete this stuff. Now, I'll show you guys how to delete that in a second. If you do click on it, it's just going to say, are you sure you want to turn this on or off or whatever? And you can, but I'll show you guys how to delete it. So for this one, says your phone is not allowed to install your device is not allowed to install apps from the source. So click on settings, and right here it's going to tell you what do you want to turn on. So for me, I always turn everything on, and then I hit the back button, click it again, and then just go through the steps. Pretty simple, pretty easy and basic. You do get app to a TV. pretty simple. Again, I think a lot of us have used Apple TV. When you first launch it, you're going to get some kind of like updates or anything like that. Just hit OK, go through the steps, hit allow. Always hit allow because it caches information in here, and you want to be sure that it does cache that information. So I'll let you play with that. BuzzTV OTA, super important. If this thing has any updates, click on check for update, and it'll do that. If you have to email BuzzTV for whatever reason, they might want to know what versions you are, and this will give them all that information that they'll need to know to help you out. Google Chrome, Gallery, Files, File Explorer, or File Browser. This is going to be the good Disney Plus, Clock, Google Play Store, Media Center, Miracast. This should be Netflix in standard definition. Web Viewer, VLC, Settings, TeamViewer, Prime, and YouTube. All great stuff here. So we're going to come here to AIDA64. That way you guys can see the specs. Some good stuff. So this is using an Amlogic chipset. It is advertised as 16 gigs, but you're left with just about 10 gigs of internal storage to play with. 2 gigs of RAM, which is great. As far as your CPU goes, and of course I got an ad here for the app. So this is actually a good way. I'm using my mouse here on the remote. You can see it does take a little bit of some time to go through, but you know, it works. Your CPU, ARM Cortex A35, great. And it is running a quad core. As far as your display goes, it's pulling the full definitions off of my capture card, which is a 1080p capture card. So it's going to pull the full specs on that. GPU, Mali G31, good stuff. As far as Android goes, you are running Android 11. Now, codecs, most important thing. Here is your codecs for your audio. So you do get LATM, and it does look like there's 4 of them. Now, the reason for that is because there's C2 decoder and OMX decoder, and also C2 encoder and OMX encoder. So you get decoder and encoder on all of them. So you also get 3GPP, AMR, FLOC, ALA, MPEG, Opus, RAW, Vorbis. You get all the stuff that you need. As far as your video goes, you do get your AV01, AVC, VP9, VP6, RM10, 20, 30, 40, WMV1, 2, and 3. You have everything. You have HEVC, H263, H264, MP4V, everything, and even some decoders and encoders for this one too, which is some good stuff. Now, when you do come to Google Chrome, I'll show you guys how this works with the mouse here. If I want to type something in, for me, I would recommend, okay, so anything that says here, set up your default browser app. Well, if I'm using Chrome, I'm going to want to use Chrome. So set as default. So yeah, there you go. When you do click the up down button, notice how like you can't really click on anything. It kind of gets a little bit annoying sometimes. So this is what I do. I use that mouse, and let me see if I can find it. There it is. And if you notice, it does take a little bit to go through its path. So I click on this button, then I click out of the mouse, and let's just say I'm looking for AIDA64. Again, that's the app that I use, so that way it reads all the stuff there. AIDA64, great app. If you guys haven't used it, you could pretty much get this one anywhere. I always put, anytime I want to look for an APK, I always put the name of the APK and then I put APK at the end of it. So AIDA64 APK. So once I get here, I'm going to start scrolling down. Now I can't really click on anything. I have to click on that mouse, and that will give me that mouse again. That takes a little bit longer. APK Pure is a great website, by the way. Now here's the other thing. If I do close myself, you see my mouse kind of moving around. On the top right hand corner, there is a red arrow. That means that guy is ready to update. Google is asking for an update. So I'm going to click on it. It says new version is available. So you can do that. Now remember, I did download AIDA64 earlier. You can go here to downloads, and here is that file. Now, I don't need it. It's about 9.4 megabytes, which is a really tiny file, but I already have AIDA64, so I'm just going to delete it here from my system because, again, I don't need it. I already have it downloaded, and I'll show you guys that in a second too. But yeah, so wanted to be sure you guys understand how that one works. So here's IDA64. I'm going to open it back up again. And there it is. It's still there. So that file is just to download the downloaded file to get the app. Once I'm there, I'm good. Okay, YouTube. YouTube is a great one. I'm going to go here to, we're just going to type in Rohas, and typically one of my channels will populate here towards the bottom. So here we go. We got like Rohas Tech, plenty of videos. We got Rohas Tech Reviews, Rohas Streaming. Let's check out the Rohas Travels. I have a lot of 4K videos on there. So it's pretty good stuff. Here is one of my 4K videos, and there it is. So you can control the volume for this device, which is pretty nice. I'm going to click that enter button. I'm going to come up here. I'm going to go to settings, and right now it's automatically pulling 4K quality, which is great. Most of the time it starts a little bit low and then it kind of ramps up, but you can see how clear and clean that is. I'm going to go ahead and fast forward this also. Just because it's good to just to get it, you know, to see how long it takes to cache. Yeah, look how clean and nice that looks. It's nuts. This device does so well with a lot of this stuff. So let's go ahead and back out of this. Check out my channel, Rohas Travels, if you haven't already. And what else? Disney Plus, you're going to need a subscription for that stuff. Oh, the plus sign here, you could actually add or take away certain things. So if you're just like, I don't want YouTube, just click on it. It says, do you want to remove from home screen? Yes or no? I'm going to put no because I do like YouTube there on the home screen. And then here at the bottom, this kind of just cycles all the way around where it gives you all the apps. Yeah, pretty good. Now, as far as settings go, I've covered this a couple times here. You could go into settings, server settings. Server settings is just going to be your live TV, VOD, PVR, all that stuff. You do have BuzzTV utilities. You got your Bluetooth stuff. And this is how you could set up other accessories, other remotes, your Connect, your updates. This is just going to be your OTA. These are just other avenues of how to get there. So pretty nice. BuzzTV utilities. If you go to home screen, this is where you could change all the different launchers, which I covered before in the past several times. Pretty simple. And yeah, let me know what you guys think. This device is a beast, and I mean, it is a beast of a device. I'm going to leave it in the description below. That way you guys get hooked up with a discount code. There's a coupon code down there. And yeah, you should get hooked up big time. So let me know what you guys think. As always, you guys take care of each other, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
you.